come home at 8 o'clock at night. She's in bed. I get up and do it again the next day. I never see her.
Are you doing a presentation on something?
No, but I'm gonna put some figures up on the screen.
Oh, okay. What was that for the levy item?
Yes, and for the wastewater treatment.
Mine didn't pop yet. Feels like it's a really long minute. There we go. 6 o'clock. Everybody ready?
Yep.
I'd like to call the Oglesby City Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Here.
Finley.
Here.
McDermott.
Here.
Stefani.
Here.
Kern.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I see a new item I didn't see right here. Winning essayist for My Voice in America's Democracy Contest.
Yeah, I invited a couple of
Okay.
students from the Oglesby Washington grade school here, and it's my pleasure to introduce Sib and Sailor from Oglesby Washington School. Tonight, they were invited to attend and read their winning essays. They participated in an essay contest, My Voice in America's Democracy, which was this year's theme for the LaSalle VFW Post 4668. Out of 74 participants, the essays tied for first. Congratulations on your accomplishments. It's definitely something to be proud of. Since that time, Sailor has advanced to the VFW Department State level for her essay. Way to go, Sailor, and good luck at the next level. If you guys would like to come up now one at a time and read your essay, please.
Hey, Mac, make sure the mic's on.
There's a little button on there. Make sure you pull it forward.
Push it towards the silver part, so.
My voice. Being 13 years old and in junior high, I probably don't have much of a voice in democracy, right? When I look at it, I can't run for anything, I can't vote, I can't even drive. How could I have any say in this? But if I take a closer look, things start to clear up, and I'm beginning to find my voice in America's democracy. For a while, I thought that being in junior high was a disadvantage and put me further away from making important decisions. I'm starting to understand that's not the case. Maybe I don't get to vote, but I wouldn't even know where to begin. Instead, school has given me a sort of test run. We have student council and people running for various positions. Last year, I voted for who I thought would be best, and it's already affecting the school. Thanks to us being able to vote, some things in school are already changing, and it's good to know I was part of that change. There's even more I can do outside of my school. With the school government as a good start, I can already do things with my city council. It turns out that anyone can write letters to our board about anything they're concerned with. Even if I didn't want to write a letter, I can still go to city meetings, and it's not just the city that I can contact, but I can also contact state legislators with any concerns I have. And having all this voice at this young makes me look forward to the future. In the future, I'm going to have many more opportunities and so much more responsibility. The biggest thing that separates me from what I'll be then has to be the voting. Deciding who governs America is a huge part of democracy, and being part of that would be a big step up from where I am today. So now that I've looked at everything, I can change things so much already. My voice already has so much power, whether it's affecting the school or my city, and is gaining more as I grow up. But for right now, this is all my power in America's democracy.
My voice. What is my voice in America's democracy? When I first thought about this topic, I was stumped. I asked myself, how do I have a role in democracy as a 13-year-old? Since I currently cannot vote, I didn't think I had a say. That couldn't be further from the truth. In this writing, I will talk about the following along and advocating. When I am older and have the opportunity to vote for our president, I will need to know how to vote for the person who is best for me. That is why my first topic of this writing is to always stay up to date / in the know. This includes watching the news, paying attention in class, noting what's going on in politics, women's rights, the environment, the economy, etc. All of these claims go back to watching the news. For example, if I would like to know about women's rights or politics, I could watch the news. When I am older and I know about all those topics I stated, I will be ready for when I have to make bigger decisions in life. I feel that advocating for my school is a great way of expressing my voice at a young age. I am in my school student council and I love it. I can get a ton of students' voices on what they want for the school or think is best. Then I translate it to our president, and we talk about it at the meetings. We always do what we can to make a move on it. In the student council, we do highway cleanup. I think doing highway cleanup really makes a difference. We pick up about 2 to 3 garbage bags of trash each time. I feel that doing this really makes my voice clear and strong. It's showing how to be better to our planet, meaning to throw things away or recycle them instead of just tossing them out your car window. I am very grateful for the voice I have currently and will have in the future. I will continue always staying in the know and advocating for my school. The next time you think you don't have a voice, take a deep dive and you'll find out the same thing each time. You do.
Excellent. It's always motivating to hear and see young people getting engaged early in life. That's fantastic. So, all right. Number 4, public comment on agenda items only. Seeing there are none, we'll move on. Number 5, approve minutes from the November 18th and December 2nd, 2024 regular sessions. If there is no comments, corrections, or modifications, if there are, just stop me anytime. If not, can I get a motion to approve?
Were there any edits made to these?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
No.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
No.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 6, approve minutes from the December 2nd, 2024 executive sessions. If there's no corrections, additions, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the December 2nd executive session minutes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
Aye.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 7, approve bills presented for payment in the amount of $814,288.25. If there's no modifications, recommendations, or changes, please can I get a motion to approve?
One thing to provide some context here, the reason that the bills are so high is because we had to make our liability insurance payment. So if there's no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge.
Aye.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 8, approve payroll for December. I don't have a day here. Is there a numbered day you have there?
It should be.
Should be.
December, I'm sorry.
It says, I don't have a date. I'll just leave it as is. December 2024 in the amount of $70,895.08. If there's no corrections, additions, or modifications, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baldridge,
Aye.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Abstain. Number 9, approve ordinance number 1275-121624, 2024 levy. Did you want to speak to this at all?
I do.
Okay, please.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to point out that our total annual levy is for $1.6 million. And I'll have more information to share during the next couple agenda items. Just to give some context on some of the things that are going to be coming up with regard to this, the cost of a city manager with benefits and staff will be approximately $250,000 to $350,000. That comes out to be more than 10% of our current levy. Can't afford to cut day-to-day positions in the various city departments, so that would require a property tax increase to the tune of 10 to 20% range to implement this new position. Question is, does the taxpayer want to pay for more taxes for that? So I just want to get that $1.6 million number out there and just show how it's relevant to the next few things that are going to be coming up here.
And that doesn't even include the wastewater treatment plant.
Doesn't even touch the wastewater
No, it
treatment
don't.
plant. So unless there's other discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the levy.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Walberg.
Aye.
Finley.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 10, resolution 121624, resolution authorizing mayor and clerk to sign wastewater treatment plant loan documents. McDermott.
Okay, guys, it's pretty basic. It's required for the loan documents. It's given to the city mayor and the city clerk. It's standard procedure. If anybody doesn't have any questions.
Well, sure. I'd like to
go
put
around.
up the money.
Stefano,
You want me to go next?
please.
Okay, so I'd like to put up the figures on what it is that we're looking at here.
I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Do we got it up there, chief? Yep. Okay. So I apologize if you can't see it up here, but phase one, 30-year term at a 1.4 fixed loan rate, principal forgiveness of $4,800,000. And that's capped at that number. Funding reserved is going to be $30 million, and the annual payment on that is going to be $1,035,824. Phase two, also a 30-year term, 1.4 fixed loan rate.
Correct.
Principal forgiveness is going to be, again, the $4,800,000. Funding reserve for that is $23 million, and the annual repayment for that is $748,095. So with that, as we just saw, our total levy is
Yep.
going to be $1.6 million. The property tax levy is restricted money and has to pay for insurance, IMRF, police pension, police, fire, ambulance, and payroll. The annual payment at the best rate through the IPA for the wastewater treatment plant is, as I said, that 1.4%. So this money would have to come out of the water and sewer fund, just so you understand, to give perspective here. The water fund is struggling to place in reserve $1 million per year for the wastewater treatment plant. So now where do we get the additional $700,000 that is needed to make the annual loan payment? That's a question we're all going to have to tackle with here pretty soon. The projected rate increase of 5% per year is not realistic or feasible. And that's, I'm referring to the water rates for the residents. 5% a year increase, I don't think anybody's going to stand for that. The most feasible solution, I had a meeting with the treasurer and the clerk earlier today, is going to be possibly raising the sales tax 1% for the specific purpose of transferring that money into the wastewater treatment plant fund. That way it's not saddling the resident with the entire burden, at least anybody that comes and buys goods here. It's kind of a shared burden. Doing it that way, the resident would not absorb the entire burden. So again, I wanted to put that up there and give you guys an understanding of what it is that we're looking at. You got to come up with $1.7 million to make the annual payment, and we're already $700,000 short. So we need to make some tough decisions, and adding another position in there is probably not going to be an easy conversation either. So that's all that I have in regard to the money aspect of it.
Okay. We'll go
Yeah,
around the
that
room.
is
Yeah.
correct.
Finley, do you have anything to add to that? No. Aldridge?
Yeah, I would just like to add that I didn't think it was a smart move to make the claim that we had an extra $130,000 roughly, especially considering the fact that we're going into negotiations with the employees. And like anyone else, if there's money there, It wasn't a good negotiating tactic, I don't believe.
Okay. My 2 cents with that is, not to rain on the parade even further, but that's assuming we can get a 1.4% rate. And I think that one of the next items is to get the resolution, to get the loan documents, to see what we can get locked in at. So hopefully we can get down to 1.4. So there is some definite problems. I'm not sure what you're referring to with the 130,000 thing, but, okay. Anybody open forum? Anybody anything else to add?
I'm not as much worried about the interest rate, whether it's 1.7, 1.4, as much as I am being able to come up with 1.7 million annually. You see what our tax levy is. It's $100,000 short than that, and you can't even use any of that money for it. So either the residents are going to have to pay more money for water and sewer, which I don't think anybody's going to be thrilled about paying 5% a year, which is what's projected
Absolutely
there,
not.
or we're going to have to come up with some other means of doing that. So yeah, we need a wastewater treatment plant. Yeah, we're federally mandated, but I would certainly like to know how we're going to pay for it.
Yeah, it is a concern. I will say that there is more options that we've been looking at. We've been looking at them for a while, engaging both state and federal officials. A couple things that just recently came up. I know Mr. Finley put me in contact with a contact through Maltino's office with a lobbyist. I've been chatting with them for looking some more options. One of the other things we're looking at is loan forgiveness. We're seeing if there's a way that we can get a waiver to get more loan forgiveness for giving off the loan, but that doesn't solve all of the problems. That solves a chunk of the problem. So there is still more of it, avenues for us to work on, but it is definitely a problem in the upcoming months to years.
So are we authorizing just to sign the application, or are we talking closing documents as well?
Well, you have to have a authorized signature, and it's
It's the
standard
application,
procedure.
Tony.
My
I have no
understanding is-
problem.
Yeah, my understanding is what this is going to do is it's going to give us that rate. And I hope we can get as low as 1.4. Last I heard, it was about 1.8, unfortunately. So that would
I'd like
throw
to
your
see that
numbers off
less.
even more
Well, it's just
concerning.
going to raise the burden. And,
Yeah.
this is something that should have been explored a long time ago, but now we're going to have to figure it out.
Even before.
So we're assured that this isn't going to proceed with the loan then? We will have another discussion before a loan is agreed upon? Is that?
My understanding.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I would
There
definitely
absolutely will be.
say that we have to.
This is to get, my understanding was this was to get the requirement and then also to get our rate of what that could be.
You know, this is a requirement, so we can even go to the loan.
Any other questions on the topic? If I can.
whole new system?
So just keep in mind, this usually isn't the time for residents to ask though,
You're fine.
but it is an important question. It's an important question. What this is referring to is the wastewater treatment plant that we are under an administrative order of consent by the federal EPA to update, if that answers your question. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. If I can get a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve R-121-1624, resolution authorizing mayor and clerk to sign wastewater treatment plan loan documents.
Second.
Thank you.
Yeah, we probably should have wrote that as application.
Application.
Probably should have said that, but
Yeah.
okay.
I
Roll call,
didn't
please.
write it like that.
Aldrich.
Aye.
Finley.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Aye. Number 11, old business. First one is update on adopting majorial form of government petition and associated hearing. Current. I put this on here for really 3 reasons. One, I know that last time there was something in the news that talked about managerial form of government. One of the commissioners was upset that I didn't address it. So I wanted to make sure that was on there. The second thing was there was an associated hearing with everything. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about, I don't know, Patty, did you want to address that? The hearing portion of everything of what, basically what the judge put on the ballot?
I certainly can. I reported to the council members that I attended the hearing remotely by Zoom last Thursday morning. The judge had set a petition by the petitioner for hearing. That petition had signatures attached to it of 132 residents who were petitioning to have a ballot initiative placed on the spring ballot to allow the city of Oglesby, or actually insist the city of Oglesby, change to a managerial form of government. There's a specific statutory procedure that allows for that process to occur. It has to be requested by at least 10% of the residents that voted in the last election. That worked out to be 110, and there were 132 signatures attached to Mr. Baxter's petition to request that it be placed on the ballot. That doesn't mean it's going to occur, but it means that the citizenry can have some discussion about it between now and April. And then people will vote on that ballot initiative. And again, if the requisite number, if a majority of the voters vote to change to a managerial form of government, it would go into place in 2027. So there would be a 2-year process to work out, everything is going to be required to switch from a commission form of government to a managerial form of government. But the judge went through the petition, he went through the statute, found that every required part of the statute was met in the petition, and therefore ordered that the ballot initiative be placed on the April 1st ballot. The question simply is whether the city of Oglesby shall change to a managerial form of government. It's a very simple question that everybody will see on the ballot coming up in April.
My understanding with that was the elected rotation would start in 2027, but that you would adopt sooner pending an appointment of a city manager, is my understanding of that.
No, my understanding is it would be required, the change would be required in 2027. The council, once the ballot results are declared, if it was positive, could decide to switch before then, but they certainly don't have to.
Okay, all right. The third item I have, the reason I want to put it on here is just to give the council an opportunity, and I want to give everybody an opportunity to weigh in, and by no means do you have to weigh in if you don't want to. This is just an opportunity to talk about what aspects maybe a city council should have with this, because it is going to be something that's officially on the ballot. Is this something that we want to just let the citizens that ran the initiative to do town hall meetings, or should we be doing something at a city council level in council chambers, like inviting people in to come speak at it, whether it's at a council meeting or at public hearings? And that's why I just want to give everybody the opportunity if they would like to comment on it. So I just thought I'd go around the room. Stephanie, do you have any feedback on any of that?
Yeah, I have questions. I'm going to start off with that. I disagree with you. This was done abruptly. It excluded the various stakeholders, such as the business community, the residents that make up the various city advisory boards, and other folks who serve, elected and appointed and employed. City manager could be implemented by the existing form of government without having to be obligated by state law. The way it has been done could potentially bring in a mandatory significant salary and bloated city government in a small city, resulting in higher taxes for every home. I'd like to point out that none of the elected officials or advisory board members were invited to the meetings with the petition circulators prior to the circulation of the petition. Jay Baxter filed the suit and the petition with the circuit court. Jay Baxter lives on the same street as me. He approached all of my neighbors, but conveniently skipped my house. The irony is when this was removed from the comprehensive plan in 2020, the only person in this current group that was on the council was the mayor. He voiced no opposition back then because he had the oversight of 2 commissioners as one person. Wonder if Jay Baxter knew this or just didn't care to acknowledge it. The petition circulation has been anything but transparent, and the Plan Commission should facilitate any informational sessions, not an elected official or a petitioner. And the question that I have that I would really love to know is, was there an analysis performed to determine what the impact would be financially and logistically to our city? If there was, and then why was the Plan Commission not engaged? If there was an analysis performed, why was it not shared with the various stakeholders like the business community, the elected officials, appointed officials, our labor unions, and the residents at large? That's what I have to say, and I'd really love to have an answer to that question. I think it's a fair question.
Finley?
My only comment would be I would probably like to see this go to the Plan Commission to have them look at it, and maybe they should be holding maybe the public meetings and something like that, and take it out of the council's hands. I think there's a lot of feelings from the council and all that with different aspects. And I think going to the Plan Commission would be one of the ways where they can maybe take a look at all the aspects of different forms of government and maybe come up with something, if it's something better. That's just my 2 cents.
All right, thanks. McDermott?
Well, I feel it should go to the plan commission. Otherwise, we need to let people decide when they vote. I hope everybody gets informed and understand what they're voting for. And we just talked about the taxes. We got a wastewater treatment plant we got to worry about also.
Thanks. Aldridge?
Yeah, I agree with my fellow commissioners. And also, Pat, just for clarification purposes, you said that this wouldn't be implemented until 2027. So
Correct.
Correct.
the problem that arises here that people see is still going to carry on until 2027, May
Correct.
1st.
Unless you decide to make a change before then, which you have a right to do if a positive vote comes back on April
We
1st.
could also explore other forms of government as well at that time, or during this time, correct?
You could not. It's on the ballot. It's going to be voted on in April, and if it's approved, it's going to be set in stone as of 2027.
I mean, as we have the opportunity and option right now to explore turning this into city manager at this time, we also have the same opportunity with other forms or no?
You do, but you don't have the option to void this ballot initiative.
No, I wasn't implying that. I totally
No, you do
understand.
have the option to explore other forms of government, subject to the ballot initiative.
My only point was that this continues until May 1st of 2027. Just want people to understand that.
That is true.
Okay. My 2 cents on it. I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate, but obviously I'll lean on your.
I've read
I
that
said-
statute 3 times. I'm
I
sure
think
it's
the
accurate.
attorney knows.
I will lean on that. My understanding from talking to the various mayors and the mayor of Mattoon, he seems to believe that they have 180 days to implement it from it. I did not see the 180 days.
That's not in the statute anyway.
I did not
Jason.
see that anywhere.
It's not in there.
My understanding, the one I talked to the ILCMA, is there is a period of time that it's supposed to be implemented before then, but it is subject to if somebody ever gets appointed. So that is partially true. So we'll have to probably do some more research on that about when it actually takes effect or not. I do know that if it passes at the 2027 election, what definitely happens is the voting happens to where that's where the rotation starts for every 2 years. So there'll be 4 positions that'll be available. The 2 highest vote getters become 4-year terms, and the 2 lowest vote getters become 2-year terms. And that starts the 4-year rotation, is my understanding. That I know starts in 2027.
Yeah,
for certain.
I think, and I haven't researched that aspect of it, but I remember reading something about how the city would have an option due to its limited size to maybe allow them to all be elected every 4 years as opposed to rotating. Personally, from somebody who represents a lot of municipalities, I don't think that's a good idea. I think there's some benefit to having continuity through every 2-year rotation as opposed to just electing a whole new council every 4 years. But that'll be a decision, I think, for the council to make if it's approved.
Excellent. The 2 recommendations I heard, I didn't hear anything about talking about if we wanted to do them at public hearings here for a council level, but I did hear 2 recommendations for the plan commission to maybe hold discussions at a plan commission level. So
I'll make a motion that, sorry, if we're done with discussion, I'm going to make,
I wasn't finished with my comments.
I'm sorry, go
Okay,
ahead.
you're right. The other comment that was made that I would probably comment on, you are right, I was on the council back in 2020. I will say, not that it's an excuse, but the first meeting I had back of where we adopted the plan commission, that was I only missed 2 meetings ever as a city commissioner, and those were the 2 meetings before I was in the ICU. So I probably shouldn't have come back so early, but I did make it back, and I probably didn't review the plan, the comprehensive plan well enough to know that I got taken out. So that is my fault, no excuse. Okay. I don't have anything else for it, so if somebody wanted to make I don't know if we have necessarily a recommendation there, but
No, but I think Tony wants to.
If
I'm
you
gonna,
will.
I'm gonna make a motion that the plan commission hold any informational sessions and organize and have full authority to organize those organizational or informational sessions regarding this petition that's been placed on the ballot.
Well, like I said, the last,
sorry, is there anything else? You have something else to add?
Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like I did at the last council meeting, I'd like to second that.
Okay.
To put it to the plan commission.
Was there anything else that someone had to add?
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing, Pat, I believe I understood with that is that from that point forward, if it is implemented, the clerk is then a elected position.
It is.
Is that true? Yes.
It is true.
Okay.
All right, we can proceed with the
People
motion.
need to understand that as well. Thank you.
There's a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Aldridge.
Aye.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. All right. Next item under old business is approved purchase of new telecommunications console for the police department using department funds. Finley.
Yes, we talked about this at the last meeting. I just want to put it on the agenda for a vote. The total cost of the purchase for the council is $30,561.75. The Emergency Telephone System Board, ETSB funds will be paying $18,472.15, and the Police Department Drug Money Seizure Funds would be paying the $12,089.60. So the total cost of this council would be paid for by police funds, not by the citizens. So I'd like to make a motion to approve this.
Anybody have any other feedback on that?
I'd just like to commend you and Chief Margus for doing everything you guys could to get this done. Appreciate it.
Can we get a second?
I'll
Second.
second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. For 12, new business. First one is approve 2025 meeting dates. This is where we usually just post the schedule for the next year. And by looking at it, I think every single one is the first and third Monday. There are 2 holiday ones. I can't remember what the months are, but they will be on a Tuesday, I believe. Anybody have any questions, concerns?
Yeah, I know you had reached out to us, or at least to me. And I'm looking January 20th is Martin Luther King Day and Inauguration Day. It's on the same day. So I think it would be appropriate to move that to the following day, the Tuesday, just like we've done with all the other ones that fall on a Monday holiday.
I thought Martin Luther King Day was one of the ones that got moved.
No, on here you have,
What
I
are
hear
the 2
you.
that are scheduled?
February 18th, and then.
What is that one? I should know that, but I don't.
Then the other one is September 2nd, is a Tuesday.
It's a Labor Day, probably.
Labor Day.
Which one's February 18th then?
President's Day.
President's Day? Yeah, which is true, because I think I've had people contacting me about Martin Luther King Day because there's been some concerns if kids don't have school. But I know we've been normally based on the idea that if City Hall is open, we usually have a meeting. I don't have a problem if we want to move that one to Tuesday as well. Is that something that everybody would like to do here then?
Absolutely.
yeah, that's the only request that I would have. Otherwise, everything else appeared in order.
Okay.
It didn't conflict.
So those would be the only 3 that would get moved to a Tuesday? Okay. I can get a motion then?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Thank you.
Aldridge.
Aye.
Finley,
Aye.
McDermott,
Aye.
Stefani,
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. Number 13, public comment on any topic. Seeing that there's none, we'll move on. Number 14, commissioner reports. Definitely.
Thank you. I'd like to start off by wishing the residents and city employees a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and a healthy Christmas and Happy New Year. I will take this time to present a calendar year-end financial report for the city, so please bear with me. And I want to also apologize to the folks who I'm about to make fall asleep with this information here. I provided the council with the most recent financial report showing the balances in the various city fund accounts. As stated in our audit report, the auditing firm advises that we keep those balances at their current statuses and healthy. They don't want us making, large purchases where you're depleting that fund down. Our electrical fund has a positive balance, and when the electrical department would need to replace transformers, infrastructure, or make substation expansions, it obviously comes out of the electrical fund. The electrical fund also has to supplement the general fund. Our water fund has a positive balance, and when the street department has to continually address water main breaks, the costs are paid from the water fund. The water fund also pays for the contract that we have with Test. And the water fund also supplements the general fund. Safe to say that the sewer fund is pretty obligated by the cost of the wastewater treatment plant and what I outlined for you earlier. If we want to apply for grants in the parks or anywhere else in our city, the contribution would come, our contribution would come from the TIF fund or possibly the hotel motel tax. Motor fuel tax fund pays for roadways and alleys. Social Security, IMRF, and insurance funds are all pretty self-explanatory. All these funds are restrictive in what they can be used for and are currently being kept positive. To then Commissioner Curran's credit, he made the unpopular choice of raising utility rates to allow us to keep up with the costs that'll increase over the years to maintain utilities. But I want to stress, like I did earlier, raising fees and taxes should not be a regular practice. I want to compliment the mayor on his 9 minutes soliloquy at our last meeting. Prior to that, yet another episode of the mayor's aspiring Broadway performances. The mayor took to Facebook and accused us of wasteful spending and lack of training or experience to be in these positions. He complained that the city didn't employ a list of bureaucratic positions that would commonly be found in highly populated big cities. So I'm not going to resort to social media or air grievances or read a book to you. Instead, I'm going to offer some straight talk with regard to those claims that were made. I'll start with the department that I'm responsible for, which is accounts and finance. When we started our term, this city was saddled with IRS penalties from the previous clerk to the tune of $45,000. The fines and penalties were assessed for several reasons. The city failed to make both state and federal biweekly tax deposits as required by law. The city failed to file state and federal 941 quarterly reports in a timely manner, if at all. After numerous hours and countless meetings with our current city clerk and our city treasurer, the city treasurer was able to have the fines waived, saving the city from a loss of $45,000 that was completely avoidable. We are in final consideration for a 100% FEMA funded grant for building and code materials. With the help of Commissioners McDermott, Baldrige, and Brian Spelich, we installed all the technology here in council chambers and in the conference room that allows for interactive meetings in a professional private setting for under $4,000. Take a guess what it would have cost to hire a technology firm to do it. Here's a hint, add another zero to the end of that number. Is that wasteful spending on this commissioner's part? The police department recently needed to replace a squad car. The city only needed to pay for the vehicle itself. The lights and equipment were able to be secured with money from the drug fund, resulting in a savings to the city in the amount of $27,000. Police department was able to secure a new dispatching council without having to use taxpayer money, as you just saw. Police department received $100,000 in grants this past year due to the commissioner and the police chief working together. Is that wasteful spending on Commissioner Finley's part? Streets and Water Commissioner is saddled with a $40 million mandate that you saw earlier. This was sent for design, but never planned for financially. The Streets Department dump truck was in poor condition, and the backhoe is now due to be replaced. The commissioner has spent countless hours seeking relief and funding and was able to stagger the equipment replacement to save the city a big hit money-wise. Is that wasteful spending on Commissioner McDermott's part? The electric commissioner inherited a department with a substation expansion, again, with no plan to fund the project. At the same time, the electric department was short a team member with no plan or potential candidate in consideration. The commissioner and the department head found a timeline and a way to complete the project without having to hire outside people or having to go for a bank loan. The opening was filled with an experienced candidate who is also a resident, starting at apprentice pay versus someone who does not reside in our city that would have been set in their ways with top journeyman pay. Commissioner Baldrige has explored and applied for grants in the parks, installed electric vehicle chargers in the downtown area with IMEA grant funding. Starved Rock Dog Park, which was previously politicized, was brought to completion. Is that wasteful spending on Commissioner Baldridge's part? The proposition of the form of changing the form of government using the reasoning that us commissioners aren't qualified or capable to lead the various departments in our small city is outright foolish. I would ask Jay Baxter or any of the critics who seem to have the answers why they didn't make the effort to come up here and help get it right. The mayor recently said that we have a small pool of collective talent when it comes to people running for elected positions. Sounds very mayoral to imply that you don't have enough talent in your town to govern. It's simply more of the same around here. This is exactly how to keep making the news and not in a good way. This is exactly how to lose good people and keep making the same mistakes over and over again. I would say to the residents, don't be fooled into thinking that changing the form of government is going to solve any of Oglesby's setbacks. All of us up here work with our department supervisors to ensure that we do the best for this city. We're a small city without the problem of bloated government or wasteful payroll because of that. And I'll concede that over the years, you may get an elected official that is not engaged or poorly suited. I can promise you that's not this group up here. And now to address the claim of the council fighting, there's never been one time where two commissioners have been unpleasant to one another. Don't take my word for it. Go back and look at the meetings. The commissioners can act like adults when they see things differently than one another. I'll let the other commissioners speak on their own behalf, but I would like to acknowledge exactly how inexperienced I am. In short, I'm responsible for the city's finance, audits, day-to-day activity in the city clerk's office, and building permits. I've spent the past 25 years working in government as a firefighter paramedic at a full-time career department. I've been a member in good standing at 2 different trade unions and currently the International Association of Firefighters. For 6 years, I was the office manager for my family's business, and I handled accounts receivable, payable, payroll, and capital improvement funding. In that time, I was nominated and elected by my peers to be the treasurer for the local area Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I have my degree in fire service operations inspection. I'm certified in construction document plan review, fire inspector 2, and advanced fire prevention officer through the Illinois State Fire Marshal's Office. I've served as a building department inspector for 2 years. I served as fire marshal for 2 years. I work in the insurance industry performing risk management and loss control services for the past 10 years. Since assuming office with the clerk, I've improved morale in that department. I lead by example, working with the clerk's office side by side with my sleeves rolled up. I work with every elected person up here to keep the city fiscally responsible as much as possible. So I'd like to close by saying when the mayor and his supporters who he likes to embellish and half inform make the claim that the commissioners up here who are elected by the people aren't qualified or capable is nothing more than nonsense. This petition was filed on December 3rd and will do nothing more than create yet another political divide, drive up the cost to run the city, and bring more negative attention to our city. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks. Commissioner Finley.
Yeah, I just have a few things. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who helped with the Christmas festivities. Even though the weather wasn't the best, I still think it was a great success. So I want to thank everybody who participated and made everything happen. It is a lot of work. Second of all, I'd like to read this letter. It says, Dear Officer Peterson and members of the Oglesby City Council, it is with great respect and admiration that I write to commend Officer Paul Peterson for his outstanding service to both our community and its veterans. Recently, I learned from Miss Tina Powell, director of the Quincy, Illinois VA home, about Officer Peterson's exemplary effort to assist in local residents of a fellow combat veteran in securing placement at the VA home. Officer Peterson's dedication to aiding those who have served our country reflects not only his professionalism, integrity, but also deep personal commitment to the well-being of his fellow veterans. As a combat veteran himself, Officer Peterson exemplifies a rare combination of empathy, initiative, and effectiveness. His actions go beyond the call of duty. His efforts ensure that those who have sacrificed so much receive the care and respect they deserve. On behalf of the community, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Officer Peterson for his commitment to service. His actions embody the highest standards of public service and remind us of the profound impact one individual can make in the lives of others. Please consider this letter as a formal acknowledgement of Officer Peterson's exemplary work and kindly request the City Council to recognize his contribution publicly. Thank you for the attention in this matter. Sincerely, Michael Marcus, Chief of Police. So I'd like to let this go on record that Officer Peterson, with this commendation, it's a nice letter and a nice job that he's done. And it's nice to have officers in this city that go above and beyond. And then lastly, I want to thank the commissioners and the mayor for giving me this opportunity to serve the citizens of Oglesby once again. I want to announce that January 6, 2025 will be my last meeting. Since there is only one person that turned in the petition for the April election, I think it's time for her to step in and take over the position. So I do want to thank everybody for appointing me, but January 6th will be my last meeting, and then after that, maybe you guys can get together and appoint the person who is going to be elected in April. So I think it's time for her to step in and take over. That's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Commissioner McDermott.
Thank you. All right. I recently filed for 2 more grants for the wastewater treatment plant. We'll see how it goes, guys. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I want to thank everybody for the Christmas parade. Even throughout the rain, it was pretty good. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Baldridge.
Yeah, I'd like to thank We Are Oglesby for their 3rd successful winter parade. The weather set things back, but they continued on and provided everyone who could attend with a very nice parade. This year, they also organized the citywide Winter Wonderland part of visiting 16 participating businesses. It had a great turnout, and suggestions will be considered in making it longer in the future. Great job, We Are Oglesby, and thank you for your working so hard to put on such an enjoyable event. All of our city departments lend a hand and participated this year as well. That was very much appreciated. Special thanks to Parks and Rec and Electric departments for going above and beyond with helping to establish our city Christmas tree lighting. The clerk's office got the schools involved in the community by having ornaments to decorate it with. We hope this tradition grows each year and is just a little more joy for everyone to experience during this winter event. I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. With that, we received an email from We Are Oglesby Vice President Angie, who is unable to attend this evening, and I'd like to read that. It says, hello, department supervisors and council members. I was hoping to make the meeting tonight to thank everyone publicly, but unfortunately I have a family emergency. I want to reflect on the We Are Oglesby Winter Wonderland event. We Are Oglesby hosted and organized on Saturday, and to celebrate its success despite the less than ideal weather. As many of you know, the day was cold and rainy, but the spirit of Oglesby shone brightly. From open house visitors to parade participants and spectators who braved the elements, the turnout exceeded our expectations. The resilience and enthusiasm of our community were truly inspiring. We were absolutely amazed by the commitment of parade participants and volunteers who stood undeterred by the weather to bring this event to life. Every part of the day, from Santa's visits to Santa, to the festive decorations, to the community's laughter and smiles, demonstrated what makes Oglesby such a special place to call home. One of the highlights of the day was the heartwarming performance by the talented students of Oglesby Washington School Music Department at the tree lighting ceremony. The pride they brought to their school and their community was evident, and their performance was undoubtedly remain a cherished moment and memory for all those who attended. I want to take this moment to express our deepest gratitude to the City of Oglesby departments for their support in making this event possible. Please share with your staff. To JP Rose in the Parks Department and Rec Department, thank you for coordinating the parade royalty, organizing the tree lighting ceremony, and managing countless other community tree details to ensure the event's success. To the Electric Department staff, thank you for setting the community tree into place and your festival participation in the parade. To Chief Margus and the Oglesby Police Department, thank you for your participation and for the ensuing safety of all attendees. To the Streets Department, thank you for your hard work managing road closures and cleanup efforts. To Becky, Jacqueline, Patty, and Aaron, thank you for selecting the decorations for Seneca Square and the community tree. Your vision created a true community tree adorned with ornaments decorated by schools and community members, making it a meaningful centerpiece of the event. The council members who supported all their departments involved with this without hesitation. Additionally, we extend our heartfelt thanks to the local businesses, sponsors, and residents who contributed their time, energy, and resources to help make this day magical. A formal thank you will be shared on our Facebook page. The We Are Oglesby Winter Wonderland was not just an event. It was a reflection of the strong community bonds that defined Oglesby. Looking forward, We Are Oglesby is excited to continue building on this successful event. We welcome your feedback. Once again, thank you to everyone who played a part in Saturday's success. Together, we proved that even in the face of challenges, our community spirit shines brighter than ever. Happy holidays, and here's to even more shared celebrations in the future. Save the date for 12/13/2025. Warm regards, Angela Partridge. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Number 15, Mayor's Report. I guess the first thing I'll address, just one of my colleagues up here wanted to respond to. I think what he's referring to is a response that I gave somebody on a Facebook post. Specifically, what I was talking about was they were comparing Ottawa to Oglesby. And I have talked publicly in the past that I believe one of the few places that I know commissioner form of government works well is the city of Ottawa. So I was trying to highlight some of the differences between there. One of them is they have 5 times our population, which means they have 5 times the amount of talent pool and capabilities there. They don't fill 5 times the number of slots. They fill the exact same number of slots as we do. So that's what I was referring to that. I do recognize that our commissioners have done a significant amount of positive work when it comes to certain spending items. And I know that someone wanted to highlight those items. Hasn't highlighted some of the other items that we could talk about, but I really don't want to address those kind of things here. I want to try to remain positive. So that's all I really have on that. The first thing I do have is that I would like to thank We Are Oglesby for the Winter Wonderland Parade. They did brave the weather. It was probably not the best of weather conditions out there, but I think they did a great job. The showing was actually relatively good comparative to the weather. The tree lighting was beautiful. I thought all that was great. I'd also like to thank the Dickinson House for hosting Santa and inviting me along to participate in the parade as well. That was very nice. It was wet and cold, but it was still very nice. And most importantly, I'd like to thank Santa. I know we have the magic mailbox here, but Santa himself has taken some out of his very, very busy schedule. He stopped by Oglesby to be able to see some kids and be able to spend some time in our parade. So I know he's very busy and he's got to get back to the North Pole, but we are honored to have any little bit of time that he's able to share with us. So I thank him for that. And then the last thing I have is I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And that's all I have. Next item I have, number 16, is adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aldrich.
Aye.
Finley.
Aye.
McDermott.
Aye.
Stefani.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Merry Christmas, everybody. We're going to have to look at that. There's one thing in there that says upon certification of the election results.
Read the paragraph before that, Jason.
Before it, what does the paragraph mean? Does it say that when you
It's very confusing, I agree, but
There's a paragraph.
there's a paragraph before that says if it's approved, it takes effect at the quadrennial election. And the paragraph below that says
Yeah,
that
it's
once the election
2027.
results are certified, if the council so